When I was growing up watching basketball, fascinated with the excitement, the intensity, the camaraderie, in awe of what a team could achieve when working together, there was no franchise that served as a beacon for all those things more than Detroit basketball.
Detroit basketball!
Rip, Big Ben, Sheed, Tayshaun, Chauncey, they had an identity, one that emulated the blue-collared, hard-nosed city they represented. That identity, though, had been passed down from generation to generation, with the bad boy Pistons of the 80s and 90s setting the precedent for what it means to play for the Motor City. The success of the franchise somewhat echoed the same success the city had in that time, as the heartbeat of the automotive industry and the music industry in North America. But this city and its people have been through a lot since then. Economic downfall, neglect, even a near bankruptcy, and it quite frankly shows. The city's pro basketball team has somehow run parallel to that, stuck near the bottom of the NBA for the last decade plus, unable to capture the essence of what it means to play Detroit basketball. And that once proud history has amounted to this: a construction site used as a car park at the site of the Pistons' old arena in Auburn Hills.
So my memories are those first 2 years winning a championship,
89,
right?
yeah.
89, 90, so that was the first year of the Palace. So.
Okay.
This has been the Pistons' home since 2017. A brand new, state-of-the-art, $863 million arena, much closer to the pulse of Detroit. At a glance, Little Caesars Arena provides a glimpse of what the future of Pistons basketball, and in turn the city of Detroit, could be. Redesigned, revamped, but still deeply rooted in its history and representing of the culture.
Both of our titles, strong guard play.
Yeah.
Chauncey and Rip, Joe G, and Isaiah. So that's what I'm
That's
thinking.
true. That's true.
So I'm thinking now we got Ivy and Kate. Like, huge
That's
Kate
actually
fan.
something I didn't really notice until you said it. The backcourt is something that's so significant in Detroit basketball.
Critical.
Yeah.
Critical. And then you got the big guys who just,
Right.
rebound, defend.
And for you, is that like beef stew? Is that
Yeah,
guy?
that's what we're thinking.
First we got the onion chips here. The onion chips right here. And then, did you get the classic, Ali?
I got the classic Philly,
Yeah, you got the classic Philly. Okay.
Provolone, grilled onions,
Onions
steak.
in it. These are the egg rolls, which very, very excited to try these.
They're my favorite. You got the Reuben, and then the.
And then this is the cheese whiz, the classic right here, Bulldog whiz. Excited. I'm so excited. Bon appetit. Is there some of that bad boys basketball in the back of your mind, trying to emulate that, represent that, while also trying to build something new?
I'm feeling it. I feel that way, right? And then you got some tough, gritty players. Stewart, right down low. Some of the rookies. So I think I'm kind of seeing that blueprint come up. So I'm getting naturally a little bit excited. Right. Just from a natural feeling.
This is all great, by the way. The food is phenomenal.
It's great food.
Man, the egg rolls are great. The cheese, oh man, so good. So good. Hey, Bulldog, man, tell me.
Absolutely.
How long you guys been doing this for, man?
So we've been at this location for just a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Collectively, I've been in the food industry for 27.
So why cheesesteaks? Because Detroit, you don't hear about Detroit cheesesteaks, right? But why cheesesteaks?
So my family owned a Tubby's.
Right.
They owned that for about 18 years. So Tubby's kind of like the Philly staple
The
here
classic,
in Detroit.
yeah.
Absolutely. They've been around since 1968.
Right.
I think they've probably grown to over 100 locations.
Right.
You
said your family owned one, right?
Yeah. My family owned one. But there's nothing here like in Dearborn that was halal. And I'm a big cheesesteak and I'm a big sub guy myself. I eat it 7 days a week. I'll eat it over anything,
Is there some kind of hope that the Pistons get back there? Do you feel like that's true? Like, do you think they will, or is it shaky?
I don't think so.
Fans like Bulldog are fair to have their doubts. The Pistons made the playoffs 8 times from 2000 to 2010. They've only made it twice in the 12 years since then. But under a new regime, helmed by their passionate general manager Troy Weaver and veteran head coach Dwayne Casey, along with a litany of young, exciting talent on the roster, there's finally a light at the end of the tunnel in Detroit. To help me walk through what might be next for Pistons basketball, I met with the guys who cover the team on a daily basis, over some Detroit-style pizza.
When you get the idea of it, we're going to go into this rebuild, we're not going to be good for a long time. A long time means a long time, not 1 year.
I'm of the belief, and like you kind of mentioned it, that they can rebuild this year. They can, I don't want to say tank, because that sets off everybody, but like restore, I guess.
I mean, it's not a bad year to tank. I mean, like, it's, I know we don't want to go into that conversation, but still, like, it's
Win for the Pistons though, because if they win a lot of games, it's because their young dudes are really good, right? Like if they won 40 games this year, it's because Cade, Ivy, Duren was better than we thought. It's not just because Boyan's dropping 20. Yeah. But if they don't win, then you have high odds of getting Victor or Scoot or Amin or whoever it is. And so to me, there's a lot of win-win throughout.
I feel like there's a gap between expectations and reality with the fan base, right? From what we see on a regular basis.
Bill Simmons is like, oh, Jason Tatum's a top 5 player. Ryan Russo's like, you have like 12 guys in your top 5. And I think that's what people were doing with Pistons playing.
Like, here's the thing, Matt touched on it earlier. We're all tweeting about it every night. They're bad defensively. Yeah. And quite honestly, I don't care a whole lot. I know that's not the heart of Detroit, but they're all young players, young rookies, sophomores. They're not good on defense normally, even if they're going to be good defenders. I actually like what they're doing because they've switched up the scheme.
Before you get into that, look, imagine we're all hungry, so let's eat some food and then we'll continue our conversation.
I think The Office is overrated. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I like the fact that there's the crunchiness on the outside. Yeah. Like from an outsider's perspective, that is the best part of the pizza. Like getting that little crunch is the best part. 8 out of 10. Yeah, like 8 out of 10. And I feel like that's fair. Like that's fair. Like it's not a perfect pizza, right? But it's a good enough pizza where you can have grab and go in these boxes, call it a day. Because I know the Pistons and like Little Caesars Arena, they're notorious for this. Do you guys feel a way when other fans pack your arena?
There was a chant going on in the middle of the game of "Let's go Pistons" and it was "Let's go Raptors." And the Raptors one, I'm sorry, Pistons fans, but the Raptors one was just so clearly higher, and it was just like, bro, how are they packing up this stadium more than us?
Improving fan attendance was one of the main reasons for the move downtown to Little Caesars, but so far not much has changed, with the Pistons consistently near the bottom in attendance records in the NBA. Any fans that do pack the arenas tend to be the opposing teams, sporting Celtics, Lakers, Warriors jerseys, or most prominently, Canadians who cross the Detroit River for Raptors games. I had to go to a Raptors-Pistons game myself to see if this was true, and see how the fans really felt about it.
I mean, it makes sense if it's turning across the river.
The fans should have showed up a little bit more.
Okay.
I say it is what it is.
I'm not okay with that. I feel like they need their own little in the corner somewhere.
We're going to support either way.
While it might not be obvious from the outside looking in right now, there's a level of excitement that comes with being a Pistons fan. With Ivy, Cunningham, Casey, Weaver, and crew leading the charge, there's a sense that this will be the group that will help the franchise return to its glory days.
Some of the most famous Michigan Hoopers played right here on this court. Bob Lanier, Dave Bing, Jalen Rose, Chris Webber, you name it. Rose himself had a memory where he was ejected for getting into a fight with Steve Smith. This right here was emblematic, it's representative of what Detroit and basketball was throughout the last 30, 40 years.
The Pistons' latest City Edition jerseys are inspired by this very court. Weaver himself set up tours for current players to visit the gym and other historical sites in the area as a way to commemorate the Motor City's rich history, and as a source of inspiration to these new Pistons who are starting to leave their own imprint on the franchise. Much like the actual city, which has seen more redevelopment and investment in recent years, the Pistons are going through their own redevelopment in hopes of finding a new identity. It might be hard to tell on some nights, and the road ahead is still a long one, but there's something special brewing in Detroit with the Pistons, something that is emblematic of the franchise's staple style, a grittiness, toughness, and selflessness that resembles the enduring nature of what it means to be a Detroiter. And while the battle has just begun to return Detroit to the top of the basketball world, it's a battle that this team, its fans, and the city they reside in are more than prepared for. Esfandiar Baraheni, SDPN Sports.